Why, hello everybody, it is Kyle here from Unboxed Autos, and today we're going to be taking a look and reviewing the 2021 Kia Telluride. Now, the Telluride is Kia's largest SUV, and it has been in the news a lot for being an excellent vehicle. It's won a lot of awards, and it's very popular. So we're going to go ahead and dig in and find out why. In this review, we're going to go ahead and talk about the exterior of the vehicle, talk about the engine, the interior, the technology, the pricing, and then near the end of the video, we're going to go ahead and actually go on the road and do a little road test and talk to you guys just a little bit more about driving dynamics and how it stacks up against some of its competitors like the Ford Explorer, Chevy Traverse. So when it comes to the exterior style of this vehicle, I think Kia did a really good job of making it look very modern and also very iconic, with especially when it comes to the front headlight design here. We have the accent lighting, but it also acts as the blinker, so that's really cool. This is a very iconic Kia Telluride light signature. And I think that's something that's very important in a vehicle in design, is making it stand out and easily recognizable, and the Telluride definitely is. Now, as far as pricing, before I get too ahead of myself, the LX is the base Telluride model, and that starts at $31,990. Now, that's for front-wheel drive. If you want all-wheel drive, you're going to step up to $33,990. There are, of course, other trim levels within this range here, adding different levels of features. But for the top-of-the-line SX all-wheel drive model, which you see here today, the starting price for that is $44,090. Now, we are also looking here at the Nightfall Edition, which gives us the black grille, the blacked-out Kia emblem, the black wheels, and a few other touches, which I'll get to throughout the exterior demonstration. Now, that is obviously additional cost, the Nightfall Edition, again, which is what we see here today. It is a first ever available package for 2021. Now, they all get the same engine, but as far as really cool standard technology, we get standard emergency braking and standard blind spot no matter which level of Telluride you choose, which is not very common and definitely a great value proposition for people in the market for a family SUV with 3 rows. So that's fantastic. The engine under the hood is a 3.8-liter V6. It makes 291 horsepower and 262 pound-foot of torque. That's probably the vehicle's biggest downfall, is the engine. It does not make enough power, in my opinion, for the Telluride, and I'll get more into that later. But as far as design goes, again, very recognizable vehicle. We have the black grille here, as I was mentioning, with the Night Edition, blacked out Kia logo, Telluride across the front. We also have the LED fog lamps there below, which you can see. Coming and taking a look at the wheels here, 20-inch wheels. They look pretty cool. We're sitting here on Michelin tires. They're very good tire, a very good standard tire. Disc brake there, nothing crazy there, pretty standard. Nice spoke design. I think most will find it appealing for the Telluride. We also have some paneling indentation there for design aesthetic, as you guys can see right there. We have the LED blinkers in both mirrors. We have keyless entry on the front too, so the rear door handles though do not get access, only the front. It's operated by this right here. More in the Nightfall Edition is this is a darker trim piece here instead of a brighter chrome. As you guys can see, it's a darker aluminum instead of a brighter chrome piece. We have a plastic there that runs along the bottom pillar, so we can be protected against rust and things like that in the future. We also have a black accent panel right here. The doors are they open up very wide for easy entry and exit, which is also something important as far as children's car seats, things of that. For the back seat, this back door, very, very large, wide opening, so it's going to be easy to get in here, make sure the kids are buckled in, and things like that. The seats, you can do a couple different things. We can easily push it forward, making it accessible to the third row quite easily, which is always a good thing. put that back in place there. Then this can also go forward and backwards as well, depending on how much room everybody needs. So there you go. Incredibly comfortable. I've sat in all the rows. It's good. The third row actually does offer a pretty good amount of space. We can get more into that later. We have sunshades here for the second row passengers, which is always a good feature. We also have heated and cooled seats for the middle row, which is very uncommon for a vehicle in this class. Very high-end feature. That's absolutely fantastic. Great job. Coming around the back, I love the rear design of this vehicle. It looks phenomenal, especially with how the rear taillights droop down, and this line right here perfectly meets the cresting in the tail lamp right here, and creates a nice long chute to the front. Again, two line LED, very crisp, as you guys can see, very elegant and very recognizable to KIA Telluride. We have the dual chrome tipped exhaust down here. We also have a black rear bumper panel, SX V6 model right here. Again, trim level V6 engine. We all have the same engine throughout. Once again, with the Night Edition, we get the black dot Kia badging, as you guys can see right here. We'll go ahead and open it up. It does open a little slow. It's a little slow to open. Could be a little faster, would be nice. Decent amount of space back here. We also have the second row right here. We can do that. 120 volt outlet right here. Very convenient if you're at the beach, at a park doing something. Very convenient. We have air venting down there. And then we have a speaker right there. These seats obviously can fold flat, so you guys can go ahead and load in more cargo if you do not need the third row. It is a power operated tailgate. You can also adjust the height of it as well if you care to. Rear backup camera is right there, sits above the license plate. Once again, the side profile and quarter rear, very good. Definitely like it. So there we have the exterior of the KIA Telluride. I think that most people have found it to be very appealing. Nice how it sits, good front end, nice amount of room, indentations here in the hood, come down, meet this nice grille with, again, the very recognizable front headlamps. So I'm going to go ahead and step onto the interior, talk about the interior design, talk about the aesthetic, talk about the quality, and then also get into things like technology. So just starting here on the door panel, as you can see, we have these easy to grab onto handles. They're a pretty good size, and they're a decent quality. We have two memories here for driver, which is always convenient. I think it's an excellent thing. It's in a lot of cars, but you never know. Good to have it. So this wood, the interior wood of the Telluride has received some complaints. Some say that it looks a little too cheesy, a little too cheap, and I can tell you it does. You can definitely tell it's fake. It almost looks printed on. However, at the end of the day, it does add a nice color enhancement to the interior, as well as a nice texture. So I think I don't have a problem with it. I think it looks fine, as you guys can see. I actually prefer it over, a very shiny thing. It's nice. It's a nice muted color. The door panel quality is nothing special. It's pretty average. We have padding here. This is pretty hard, but there is a little bit of a give to it. But it's not that super cheap plastic you'll see in an economy car, but it's also not super plush. All of the windows here are auto up, auto down, so one touch all the way down for all four. We have a little chrome accenting around there. Obviously, adjust your mirrors right there, left, right, nothing special, nothing crazy on that. I love the seats, though. These are these upgraded leather seats. Very comfortable, very supportive, and they look cool, as you guys can see, too. We're going to go ahead and adjust the lens so you guys can get a better look. Coming down here as well, we also have leg extension, which is great, as you guys can see there. A lot of times we have that on BMW. Metal gas brake pedal. Silver pillar here. As we step inside of the Telluride, go ahead and close the door. Very quiet in here. Once you get inside, close the door, all the windows are up. It is a very quiet vehicle. On the road, on the highway, they did a really good job as far as sound insulation goes. Auto auto push to start. As a no key, keyless start. My words got the best of me there, guys. Forgive me. So we're going to go ahead and adjust that for a minute so you can hear. The steering wheel is also pretty basic, right? So I think we can do a better job in the future as far as the design goes. This looks very Kia, very sort of blah, very plain. So we're going to want to take some adjustments here eventually. But as far as functionality and quality goes, it is good. It's nice to be able to hold it in many different positions, right? There. So nice for long road trips. You have a nice amount of adjustments. Sometimes cars block this space out. It's pretty annoying. They force you here or here. But in this car, we have plenty of options for holding the steering wheel. This leather here is also very good quality, very soft, very plush, which is fantastic. We have obviously the controls for the infotainment and steering wheel. The controls on the steering wheel for infotainment and things of that nature. Over here we have our blind spot detection. We have our lane departure system and warning. And we have the button to open the hatch and then obviously adjust the instrument cluster right here as far as the brightness goes. Auto lamps, we also have obviously the ability to manually adjust those. We have the fog lamps that I was showing you earlier. Those LED fog lamps are, let's turn those on by flipping that switch. And then as far as this gauge cluster goes, it's not bad. I like the red needles. It would be nice to see a fully digital display implemented in the future at some point. But it gets the job done. It's not bad. It's a nice clear screen. We also have a heads-up display, which displays our miles per hour and lane departure warning settings and navigation if that's set up, which is always a great feature to have. Now, as far as safety goes, we have a couple different options. So obviously we can adjust the heads-up display there. For driver assistance, we have different reaction time for the automatic braking. We have driver assistance, so as the leading vehicle is departing, it'll actually say, hey, if you're looking down at something, it'll say, hey, you got to get going. So that's a nice newer feature. Lane assist there, lane following assist, which is that feature I just showed you. Highway driving assist as well, which is helpful. They have different timers, very not super great, not super helpful. Driver attention warning, so if it thinks that you're losing attention, if you're falling asleep too many times at the wheel, which would be a terrible thing to tell you. So convenience features, rear occupancy alert, seat height adjustment, easy access to get out of the car, so the seat will go to its maximum outward position as you get in and out. It's a very annoying feature in my opinion in all cars. It makes the seat readjust every single time. It is saved, but it's quite a process. Never liked it, but it does have it in case you like it. Auto windshield wipers. So if we have an auto mode, they're rain sensing. You can adjust how sensitive they are with that. Rear wiper. Pretty boring blinker stocks. Very cheap, very plasticky. Not a fan. Coming over here to the multimedia system, it's a standard Kia system, which is a good thing. It's very easy to use, moderately responsive, but again, it's a very easy system to use and to navigate through. And it's also really easy to find destinations, which is always a good thing. Pretty standard, nothing crazy here. We have a quiet mode, so if you don't want to be disturbed by your phone, you can do that, which is good. In the setup menu here, we can adjust the optional Harman Kardon sound system that we have here. And we also have a bass boost, which dynamically increases the bass instead of going into sound tuning and changing it there. I will tell you guys, it is better obviously than the bass sound system. It has the surround sound option, but it's not quite as good as the Bose system in the Traverse or the optional, I believe it's a Bang & Olufsen system in the Ford Explorer. Just not quite as all-enveloping. Again, it's a clear system. It provides pretty decent response to the inputs of the sound, but it's not amazing. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, very important these days. It has both of those, which is great. This is the home screen. It's reconfigurable. This is the one I like. We have our little map here. We have media here playing when our phone's connected, and then outside temperature. Coming over more to the design aesthetic, so we have this sort of waterfall, water-tiered dash. So as you guys can see here, it's the upper level. It's done with some nice stitching. It's a really good-looking dashboard. And then it drops down here into this wood trim, which again I think is a nice muted tone. And then we come in here to our silver trim, and then we have a cool LED accent lighting throughout the interior, which looks fantastic, I think. It's also adjustable in pretty much any color you could ever want. We have the center air vents here, 3 in the center. Creates a nice look that flows down from the media system into these buttons here. Very well made buttons. They're all metal. They look very high end, very clean, crisp design, which is great. We have our heated steering wheel button. Then we have all of our climate controls right here. Again, nice buttons, very large, easy to read and call out the display, which is fantastic. Okay, moving down, we have our heated and cooled seat option right here. Very neat how they have integrated that in with these handles. We actually have these handles we can hold on to right here. Now, this stuff's actually pretty hard to do from a design standpoint, manufacturing standpoint. It's pretty expensive to do these things. To shape things in such a manner, it requires more time and effort. So I think it's cool that Kia was able to put in this cool design element into the interior. We also have a wireless charging tray up here. We have 2 different options for plugged-in charging. Actually 3, I take it back. We have our USB. We have another USB, which is strictly charging. This is the one you use for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And then we have standard. You can plug in an auxiliary unit, and then you can plug in your phone through that. Coming down here into the center, we have the auto stop start off button. Fantastic button. Use it all the time. Never have it on because it sucks in pretty much all cars except hybrids. We have the camera views. We have the parking sensors. And we have different modes, different drive modes. So we have a sport mode. We have a smart mode, which will dynamically adjust depending on your driving from eco to comfort to sport. Then we also have a snow mode. So it's going to adjust throttle response basically in this car is about all. And perhaps a little bit of the steering input. We have manual shifting mode available if you go into drive, then go over, and then back to park. As far as the camera view system goes, it is a phenomenal system. So we have the 3D surround view camera. We can take a look at each of our front tires to make sure that we're not going to hit a curb or something like that. Incredibly useful, believe me. Going into reverse, we have the same fantastic feature. We can look at the rear wheels again to make sure that we're not hitting anything or scrubbing our wheels up against the curb. So phenomenal camera system, clean, crisp, no lag, which is surprisingly a problem for camera systems these days. No lag on that one, so that's great. So the interior, as you guys can see, is pretty spacious. We have this phenomenal Alcantara headliner, which really gives the car a very high-end upscale feeling. We have dual sunroofs. We have one for the rear passengers and one for us up front here. And again, this headliner really makes all the difference. It's super soft. It really gives you a nice, warm, inviting feeling when you step onto the interior. This is not available in any of the competitors, so I think it's really cool that we went ahead and put this high-end fabric in the headliner. Very nice touch, Kia. Very nice. So that's about it from a interior design and technology standpoint. It has pretty much everything that you'd expect. Some nice standard safety features that I called out earlier. A few things were lacking, like a fully digital instrument cluster, and perhaps a few little touches like higher quality blinker stocks, things like that. But overall, the interior is very good, and it's about what you expect, and perhaps a little bit higher for the price point. Now let's go ahead and step out here and check out the rear seat, since people will be spending a fair amount of time back here as well, hauling the family around. So I'm 5'10", tons of room, lots of space. I could sit back here all the way to California from the East Coast. It'd be very easy and very comfortable. Once again, we have the heated and cooled seats for the rear occupants as well. Stadium seating, so the middle seat sits up a little bit higher in the front to give you a nice view over the road. Very large windows, very few blind spots, which is nice. So now we're gonna go ahead and take it for a spin. Take it for a spin on the road. Tell you what you guys. I'm gonna tell you guys what I think of how it drives. So let's go ahead and get started with that. All right, guys. So we are here in the 2020 Kia Telluride. We're gonna go ahead and take it for a little road test, little spin here, and tell you guys a little bit more in depth about how it drives. So I think the high points of this vehicle overall, it's just a great packaging, right? There's plenty of space for the family. It's a good price point. Looks really good. The interior overall is very nice. It has a few of those points which I mentioned, which are a little dissatisfactory, like the blinker stalks and things like that. But as far as the overall design of the interior and the quality compared to others in the segment, it is definitely very good. Now, when it comes to actually driving, we have a 3.8 liter V6. Makes about 280 horsepower. Now, it could use some more power. I'll be frank with you guys. As much as I want to love every aspect of the Telluride, it's just a little bit slow, especially when you think about having maybe 4 or 5 passengers plus all of their luggage in it, right? So when I'm just driving around town on flat surfaces with myself, it's perfectly fine. It has a decent amount of pickup power, but again, when you get on some sort of steeper inclines, some hills, you got a few more people in the car, it does feel a little bit underpowered. So I think that's one thing that they'll need to update in the future is add another 50 horsepower, 40 horsepower. But we also need to bring up the torque. The torque numbers are pretty low. I believe they're around 260 or 270 pound-foot of torque. A little bit lagging there. We need to up that to around 9,300. Another great option would be to add a turbocharger to it to add that nice low-end torque. But obviously, that is going to add to the cost of this vehicle. The Telluride is equipped with an 8-speed automatic transmission, which is pretty decent. It's good, smooth shifts, quite quick and responsive. So I don't think we have any issues there. Some high points of the driving dynamics of the Telluride would be its very smooth ride. It has a very good ride quality. And we're also sitting on some pretty high-end Michelin touring tires, which are a very good standard tire that they put on this vehicle. Definitely didn't go with the cheap rubber, which is a good thing. Now, the other thing too, which is notable about driving Telluride, is the interior's quietness. They did a great job when it comes to ride quality and the interior as far as sound dampening. Very, very smooth and quiet. Phenomenal if you're taking the family on a road trip, and be very comfortable for that. Obviously, again, here we have our multimedia system, which is pretty standard Kia system. It's easy to use. We have navigation, we have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, so everything that you'd expect or want is right here. We have the optional Harman Kardon sound system, which is decent. It's better, obviously, than the base system, but it's not going to blow you away, though, either. Again, great design, a good packaging on the 2020 Kia Telluride, good price point. So I think overall, the reason it gets so many accolades is because of how well it all does kind of come together, even though it does have a few shortfalls like the drivetrain. If you're out there, shopping around looking for a full-size, family-focused SUV, then the Telluride really should be at the top of your list, especially if pricing and quality is a top consideration of yours. Then that's going to be something that the Telluride will really deliver on. Plus, it's available with front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. So if you guys, live in perhaps the Midwest or anything like that, where you're going to get a lot of snow, then that's definitely a very helpful feature to you guys as well with the all-wheel drive. So, plus it comes for only a few $1,000s more off the already affordable base price. Not to mention an amazing warranty that Kia gives you guys. So, when it comes to the value perspective and quality, it cannot be beat. And that is the advantage of the 2020 Kia Telluride. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Please drop any questions you guys have about the Telluride in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Or if you have any questions about its competitors, like the Toyota Highlander, the Ford Explorer, the Chevy Traverse, feel free to let me know, message me, or again, leave it in the comment section below, and I will be there to answer all of your questions.